So the big news today is the AT&T outage yesterday. Like, it took out a lot of people. Looking at Down Detector, it looks like it cleared up like around between like 12 and 1 o'clock yesterday.
12 and
But man,
1.
there was a lot of outages.
What time did you notice it? Like,
I
it didn't affect me,
I
so.
noticed it first thing in the morning, like 7 o'clock. I could see it was out, and I was getting the SOS on my phone. I actually on the iPhone 15, it actually has satellite connectivity. If let's say it can't contact the cellular network at all, right? Like, so when you see that SOS, like that means your network provider's down. Um, but it has the opportunity to jump on another network if you do make a 911 call, right?
Right. Yep.
And a lot of people were trying that, and I guess it overloaded all the 911 systems all over because people were just like, "Oh, this is my phone work." Um, so if it can't connect to another cellular provider, then the iPhone 15 will reach out to the satellite and it will send a text message to like the 911 centers.
Right.
So that's
Yep.
pretty neat. I saw that pop up on my phone. I saw the satellite pop up a couple times because I think the 911 systems were getting overloaded
Yeah, I'm sure.
from people just
Um,
calling in. Um,
yeah, it's interesting. Okay, it didn't affect me personally. I don't know if it affected anybody else on the West Coast, but
yeah,
you saw it right away.
yeah. It looked like it did affect me in the Bay Area more. I was looking at the map. Looks like major city centers. New York was one that there was a ton of outages, but it also affected the Tesla. Like, so I got in the Tesla like around 8 o'clock and it had no connectivity. So basically, no maps, no routing, no streaming audio. So that's like a shock, right? Like, you all of a sudden you have no data in your car, and I tweeted that out to like the local Connecticut Tesla group, and some of them said they saw the same thing,
Yeah,
but
it did not.
you didn't notice that
I
either.
mean, I drive
Yeah,
in right around that time, like
yeah,
5 o'clock in the morning, so 8 o'clock your time. So I didn't notice that at all.
yeah.
I mean, I do maps and I play music and stuff streaming. So,
I was checking the Rivian though, and it never went down. They both use AT&T for the cell provider. So it's
oh,
interesting. That one didn't go down, but I think it has something to do with like the prepaid because I'm on AT&T prepaid. I think people that I talk to that you just have standard AT&T, theirs didn't go down. And I think like some of these like cut rate providers like Cricket Wireless and those that was one that went down. That's like a subsidiary of AT&T.
right.
Um, so it looks like
Oh,
maybe some of the communication between the different providers was not working correctly. So what caused all this? Like, was it like space weather, hackers from some other country? Maybe no. They think it's just like some engineer probably applied a firmware update at the wrong time or the wrong firmware update. Right? They AT&T already issued a statement saying that they were updating their network, and that's what caused the problem. So they said they were making their network better. They were expanding their network, and that caused the problem. So that most of the time when these like large outages occur, it is something to do with the network. As we know, when you apply a firmware update, you have to be sure
oh yeah,
that's gonna not go wrong, right? You have to do it in a window where there is no window for cellular, but maybe for Wi-Fi or networking, you can do it on the weekends when no one's there, right?
yeah. Like, unfortunately, yeah. On the weekends, at even odd times, right? You don't want to do it. I don't know. You just want to be cautious. You want
Yeah,
to do it at odd times.
yeah. You got to be careful, especially with these type of things. You can cut yourself off maybe from the network. You can do a lot of things, um, but yeah. So it seems to be resolved. But yeah, I haven't seen that happen like this in a long time. That was pretty interesting. But what happens like? When you have no cell service, you can use Wi-Fi calling, right? That's what I
Yeah,
was using. So
exactly.
so I didn't really notice any problems. You can still send text messages, obviously, and make calls over Wi-Fi calling, and it works great.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the features that we have implemented on our system is the ability, it's quote unquote carrier class Wi-Fi calling rather than best effort
Yeah,
Wi-Fi calling.
right. And you're
So it
kind of
just
the expert on
prioritizes
that.
the packet and communicates with the cellular company's server, right?
Yeah, yeah. So what it forms an IPsec connection between the phone device and the cellular company server.
Yeah, their EPDG server.
EPDG servers, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Now what? Now you don't have to have anything configured. You could just have like any Wi-Fi basically, as long as the connection's strong enough. It's gonna try to, and you have it enabled. You have Wi-Fi calling enabled on your device. It's gonna try to go over the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So like with our system, you do have to tell the AP like, there's Wi-Fi calling and you want to prioritize the packet,
Right.
um, because it comes to the AP specified with like a particular
QoS
priority.
tag, right? QoS
Yeah, yeah,
priority, yeah.
tag our priority, right? And then our AP is modifying that and reprioritizing it and sending it to the EPDG server. So it's like prioritized all the way through
Yeah.
because it comes. I think the tag is like a DSCP tag, a QoS tag,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
And it's tagged with like 20 or something like that, and it hits RAP. RAP tags it with a 46. D, I think it's DSCP, right?
Okay.
And then the EPDG server then sends it back tagged with a 0 priority, and then we retag it with a 46. So we're prioritizing that traffic as it's going through the network. So from the cell phone to the AP to their server, we're trying to prioritize it at the highest level all the way through and all the way back.
Yes. Another reason to have like an enterprise Wi-Fi system, right, in your office. Like, so if you just had like some kind of like mesh repeaters or the something you got at Best Buy, it probably wouldn't do that, right? It would just be you probably get some kind of laggy, breaking up voice over IP connection.
Yeah, it's just going to use best effort,
Right.
and we typically use best effort. So if it's not enabled, if that feature is not enabled, then you're just using best effort,
Yeah.
and best best effort works really well. But if you're like in your situation where you lose cellular, you want to make sure that's enabled. A lot of where we find it is that like if you have somebody in like in a hospital and they walk into a parking garage where there's no cellular service, this
Mm-hmm.
is where this is like really needed. Or like if they're in a multifamily unit and they go into like an underground garage, you can put access points down there, but cellular can't reach there. So you would use this so you can make sure people can make calls while they're in that garage.
Ingenious actually did a test, right, with the Wi-Fi calling, like out at a
Yeah,
customer
you were
site.
part of my test.
Yeah. So that you
Yeah.
went and did the calling, and you made sure you called me, right? So it was like you called me over the Wi-Fi just to show them how it works.
Yeah. So yeah, I made sure I had everything turned off cellular and we walked the property and inside and out with this on and made a call with you with no disruptions. In fact, we did a video call, and there's no disruptions whatsoever.
Right.
So
Right.
which was pretty fantastic. I thought there would be some sort of breakup, and there was not any breakup whatsoever. So
That's because they had good coverage. So if you're going to be doing this on the regular, or you want this for a backup, make sure you have good AP coverage.
yeah, for sure.
Between APs, right? All right, so
Yep.
so that's pretty cool that the Wi-Fi calling kicked in, and I didn't really notice a difference other than I saw no AT&T bars on my phone, and I'm like, what's going on here? Um,
Yeah.
so so other thing we want to talk about this week is we just saw a firmware update on the Genius gateways. I did it this morning. It went really
Yep.
smooth on the ESG 620,
Yeah.
which I've been using, and that I love that thing. It's been working great. And so now there's one of the features they added is this packet capture on the WAN port.
Yep.
So what does that mean?
Yeah, so basically if you're in the, if you're using cloud, right? When you
Yeah.
go into the cloud and you have a gateway on cloud, and you're running a ESG 620, I'm running an ESG 510. You would basically just go to the gateway, and then when you go to the detail page of the gateway, there's a little diagnostics button. You click on that diagnostics button, and then you'll have some diagnostics that you can do, right? You can look at the CPU, you look at memory, you can look at throughput, and then you can even run, speed test, ping, and then trace route, and then we added packet capture. So the ability to, if you're the ability to capture packets on the WAN port. So if you're experiencing issues and you're troubleshooting and you're having difficulty and you can't figure out the issue, you can do a packet capture now on the WAN port.
Nice. So
And
there's a
so
lot of
yeah, so
traffic
we've
there.
we've added this, this features on our access points and switches and gateways now.
Yeah, this gives you the ability to catch it right whereas it goes to the internet service provider, right? So like if there's you can't get to a certain website or a certain type of service isn't working, you can set a filter, which you should definitely should, right? Is there a capture filter on the Ingenious Cloud?
I believe so.
Yeah, you can limit it to IP addresses or what have you, right, on the capture because there's gonna be a lot of data there on the WAN port that you're gonna want not gonna want to have to capture at all usually.
Yeah, so you basically, you're selecting WAN one, you're selecting the time, the duration, and then you're selecting the filter expression.
Okay, yeah. So you do source, destination, IP address, or a protocol, something like that for the capture filter, and then it'll actually download that PCAP file into your browser and put it in your downloads. Then you can load it with Wireshark and analyze it.
Yep.
And other tools like the new MetaGeek tool will also be able to load that PCAP file. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Nice. Nice. All right, Brian. Anything else this week?
No, I think
Got a busy day. All right.
very
So
busy day.
everyone, remember to test your Wi-Fi calling. Turn off the cellular. Walk around. Make sure you got it enabled on your phone. And that you have strong enough Wi-Fi signal to get it to work, right?
Well, you want to enable it in the cloud too.
In the
so you gotta
cloud
make
too.
sure
If you're using the Genius Cloud, enable it in there so that it'll prioritize the traffic. Make sure it's enabled on your phone, and then you should be able to test it out pretty easily. And so this doesn't, in case this happens again, right?
Yeah, you definitely don't want that to happen again.
All right. Remember, like and subscribe. Ask us any questions down in the comments. We'll be back next week.